Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It's Saturday, December 29th. Hope your weekend is going well and hope you're holding strong as we're about to embark into 2019, which is gearing up to be a big year for crypto. We have some major launches that are absolutely scheduled. We have a lot of things related to the government on what they're going to do with crypto. For example, February 27th is a deadline for the SEC to review the Bitcoin ETFs from the VanEck Bitcoin ETF as well as CBOE and SolidX. Also, we have the Token Taxonomy Act and some other bills that are being put forth in Congress that will bring regulatory clarity and further regulation for the crypto market to allow it to grow and flourish. So there are some things scheduled for 2019. Of course, we have some major launches from Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, ICE, which is launching Bakkt, Nasdaq listing Bitcoin futures. So there's a lot of things scheduled. We know a lot of Wall Street players are getting involved. We've talked about guys like Rick Edelman, Mike Novogratz, and here we have some news. And of course, this is not financial or investment advice. We have news that a former Wall Street investor has stated big chance crypto is the best performing asset in 2019. So let me give you some details here. Travis Kling, a former Point72 asset management executive, a hedge fund that oversees $12.4 billion in assets, that's pretty big, said that there is a big chance crypto becomes the best performing asset in 2019. His fund has a kind of a weird name, the Ikigai fund founder made the case that cryptocurrencies were never present during a proper bear market in traditional finance, and the decline of the Nasdaq Composite and Dow Jones could lead more investors into the cryptocurrency space. What did we just talk about yesterday, guys? That crypto and the precious metals, gold and silver markets were seeing a very high correlation. Reason being, if the stock market is crashing, right, people are going to look for other assets to be a hedge against the stock market. So traditionally and historically, what we've seen is people would go to gold and silver, and you see gold and silver do well in a recession while stocks are down. Well, crypto is a new asset class, a new opportunity, and it's going to be that other alternative, right, along with gold and silver. So I think that is what's going to happen. We've talked about this many times, and it makes sense, right? That's usually how the money moves. And here's what he said, because he tweeted about this. Crypto has never existed during a bear market in traditional assets. Bitcoin was birthed at the very beginning of the largest monetary experiment ever, globally coordinated QE. So QE is talking about quantitative easing. And this is what like the Federal Reserve and the central banks did essentially after the 2008 crash to help bring the market back into a position of growth. Ending QE is causing pain. There is significant chance crypto is the best performing asset in 2019. So with the fiat currency also taking a hit, the stock market taking a hit, the economy looking like it's going to go into recession and slow down, like I said, the alternative markets like gold and silver and crypto is what these major players and are going to move their clients' money into these asset classes. That is why I'm so excited for 2019, because who do we have launching? Like I said just a few minutes ago, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, and so forth. And what do they have to do if they're going to launch? They have to market their services, right? If you launch a service or you launch a company, a business, whatever it is, you have to market. You have to drive demand, to get the brand awareness out there, right? There's no use in just launching and keeping it quiet. You have to make an ROI. These guys didn't invest money into this to build out custody services and crypto's trading services and hire people and all of that good stuff to lose money. They're not doing this for fun. They're here to make money. So that is why with these launches scheduled for 2019, I'm so bullish. And with the stock market, the way it's going down, I think people are going to use crypto as an alternative along with gold and silver. So this is essentially what he's saying here. And like I said, he tweeted about this. So this is a good sign. And of course, you guys, I've shared this with you. I did a blog post on my website, thinkingcrypto.com, outlining all the respective launches and significant events that are scheduled for 2019, along with their sources to confirm, the dates and that these are in fact, well, these are facts, right? This is not just me making this up or someone saying it as a rumor. Um, and we have like the DX Exchange, which is powered by Nasdaq technology. You guys saw my interview with the CEO, scheduled for January 7th. So that's happening, within a couple of weeks. And obviously, Backed will also be launching, but some people are saying that could be delayed because of the government shutdown that's happening in the United States. They're still waiting for the CFTC to give approval on a few things. February 27th, the SEC is the final review date for the SEC to review the Bitcoin ETFs. Nasdaq Stock Exchange will list Bitcoin futures. Fidelity launching crypto trading services. ErisX, which has investment from both TD Ameritrade and Fidelity, will launch as well. And then we have the first Islamic crypto exchange launching around July. Solaris Bank and Germany's second largest stock exchange will be launching their own exchange. The Bison app that they created will also be going fully live. The Switzerland Stock Exchange looks like they will be providing crypto trading and custody service launching mid-2019. And then we also have Ripple with the banks that will go live on XRapid. Now, there's also the Token Taxonomy Act, which is currently in play with Congress and some other bills that are related to cryptocurrency. So hopefully we can see some clarity and some regulatory clarity for the market to move forward. So guys, big things are scheduled, and these are facts. I'm not making this up. I'm not pulling it out the air. This has all been confirmed, and a lot of the Wall Street guys are getting involved. So wanted to let you know about that, and this is a bullish outlook, and I personally agree with it. Now, can anyone predict when the next bull run is going to be? No, we don't. We're not fortune tellers here, but looking at the facts, we can make an educated guess. But like I said, I could say, hey, it's going to happen in Q1, but I could be wrong, right? I think we'll probably see something maybe towards the end of Q1. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe February, maybe the SEC approves a Bitcoin ETF. Who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe the Token Taxonomy Act gets approved. We'll have to wait and see. But the fact is, we have these important events and launches scheduled. So something that's interesting, and it speaks to crypto as a whole, but of course Bitcoin is the brand that's well known and it's highlighted. But Time Magazine published an article, Why Bitcoin Matters for Freedom. Now this is significant in Time Magazine, so think about the exposure it's getting, that crypto will be getting, and it highlights the failing fiat currencies, the authoritative government, or I should say authoritarian governments. Talking about Venezuela, well, what's going on there? It's really bad. Of course, their currency is gone to crap. It's literally, people are using it as toilet paper. It is worth nothing. So they go through this, the whole spiel here about what's going on in the world, different governments, how Bitcoin and crypto can bring freedom and obviously eliminate that middleman. And I absolutely believe in the vision of Bitcoin, the nature of what it is. What I don't believe is the extremists who want to get rid of banks. There's no way you're going to get rid of banks. Can Bitcoin and crypto help keep the banks more honest, right? And bring some power back to people? Sure. That's totally fine. I believe that. I'm not an anarchist who wants to go, destroy the government or anything like that. There's people like that, right? And you gotta have a balance, right? You can't go too far off on one end of the spectrum. So I believe, in crypto bringing freedom, bringing banking and the ability to make payments to people, to folks, around the globe. Now, Bitcoin itself, from a utility standpoint, is not that great. We know that, right? From a transaction cost and amount of transactions per second and the speed, it's not great at all, especially when the network is very busy. And then we're going to talk a bit about proof of work. However, I've made this analogy before where I liken Bitcoin to Yahoo, right? Or maybe Web 1.0, and then Google would be, for example, like an XRP, which is a vastly superior technology, faster, cheaper to use, more scalable. So that is the way I look at it. So it's not to say that, okay, Yahoo's bad, or it's like there's no, it served its purpose. It was the original. It came out, and look, Yahoo still exists today, but it doesn't control the market anymore. Google has the market share. If we're going to look at search, make the analogy of search engine, so to speak. So it's a great article, but the reason why I'm telling you guys, this is great exposure, and it speaks to the mainstream integration, knowledge, education, adoption, and so forth that's coming. They also talk about Monero and Zcash, essentially these privacy coins. And I personally, like I've said before, guys, I'm staying away from privacy coins because trust me when I tell you, the governments are going to come after it, and I don't want to be holding something that's going to be put me under some sort of spotlight or radar, if you know what I mean. So, very big exposure. And like I said, I know it says Bitcoin, and of course, everyone, that's the brand that people know about. And usually when they enter the market, they start with that. But it, of course, talks about cryptocurrency in general as well. So, now, as I just alluded to with proof of work, Bitmain is going through some problems because proof of work, like I said, Web.1, it was the original start, great concept idea, but does it have lasting potential? And that's the tricky and the big question here, because a lot of these miners are obviously operating at a loss because Bitcoin has to be at a certain price for them to make money, and Bitmain, had to let people go, let some of their workers go. And this is happening across the board. And there's a rumor here that Chinese media reports Jihan Wu, Genki Group, to soon resign as Bitmain's CEO. So things not looking too good here, guys. But this is just a rumor. Let's see what happens. But this is also not surprising. You see this in the regular world of, if a company's not doing well, the board would look to change something, get rid of the CEO or whoever it is, right? But this also, with the market being down, this is also not good for Bitcoin and coins that are using the proof of work algorithm, because look at what's happening here. They can't operate at a the price needs to be at a certain level for them to be profitable. It's of course very costly, and obviously using a lot of electricity, which is not great for the environment and so forth. And a lot of the mining is done in China, of course, and I don't want to get into the centralization versus decentralization conversation. We've talked about that many times, because you have a lot of people who, for example, are against XRP. When you have a public company in Ripple, you see the CEO, they come out, they're very transparent, and they, from their consensus algorithm, the validators, they control less than 50%, while Bitcoin, the miners control, from a hash rate perspective, like in China, the pool of them control more than 50%. So that is not good for me when you're trying to say Bitcoin is decentralized, when you have these people who control the hash rate. And just look at what we saw with Bitcoin Cash, that whole battle that took place, and they were taking hash rate from Bitcoin and using it to fight the internal battle that they were having. Anyway, I don't want to go down too much into the rabbit hole with this here, just trying to let you guys understand holistically what's happening here. And look, I have no religious feelings or emotions to any coin. If something makes sense, and logically it's scalable, it shows its output is legit, has real results, better results, and is more advanced than the other, I'm on board with that, right? If Bitcoin had the characteristics or the specs as XRP, it's fast, cheap to use, scalable, etc., man, Bitcoin all day. But it doesn't. So that's why, but don't get me wrong, that's not to say I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. I think eventually we may see the US push for Bitcoin mining just so they can control it and not have China control it. Now that's a whole nother story. I'll probably do a video specifically on that, but just want to let you know what I'm thinking. Would love to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Moving ahead, Japanese financial regulator receives 190 cryptocurrency exchange license applications. That's a lot. What we've been seeing this entire year, even though a bear market, tons upon tons of exchanges popping up globally, listing crypto, adding fiat pairing. So, it's a big sign of what's to come. And this year was such a big year for infrastructure build out of services and folks getting ready for the launch of the market. So the Japanese Financial Services Agency, FSA, received 190 cryptocurrency exchange license applications, an unnamed staff member told Cointelegraph Japan. The FSA has given the local crypto industry self-regulatory status, certifying the Japanese Virtual Currency Exchange Association to oversee the space. The JVCEA is now expected to develop anti-money laundering policy, AML, and providing guidelines to cryptocurrency exchanges. So this is a great sign, guys. It's definitely a bullish sign because these people, it's a lot of them move in different circles and they're investors and they have a lot of money and they're looking to launch exchanges. And they're trying to get ahead of the curve, set up shop, build out the services, and wait for the run up again. And crypto's here to stay. And the great thing about it, it's global. Back in the 90s when the internet started, it was mainly in the United States. Not to say the internet didn't exist anywhere else, but a lot of the innovation and a lot of the movements were happening in the United States. This time around, with blockchain being the next layer on top of the internet, we're seeing a global movement. And even the US right now, we've talked about this, is actually lagging behind. They're not leading right now. There are other countries that are leading, and this is why I, tweeted Donald Trump and asked you guys to retweet that. And I'm super excited that you have the bipartisan bill, the Token Taxonomy Act, which is going to provide a lot of clarity, help the market to grow. So bullish sign, guys. And Japan is a very big on crypto. Bitcoin is a legal currency in Japan. That is facts. You guys can check it out. So they are big on it. And we know the Japanese bank consortium, 60 plus banks are working with Ripple and they're going to be leveraging XRP. So big things happening in Japan. And speaking of XRP, we got some news here from HostBlock. So HostBlock said Ripple XRP accepted now at HostBlock. And let me give you a rundown of who they are. HostBlock was founded in 2018. All of our servers are located in continental United States. We are a trusted provider of web hosting and needs of all sizes. So they're a web host provider like your HostGator or GoDaddy. So good to see XRP here getting more adoption and integration, guys. And, like I've been saying, the key word here is patience. So we just got to be patient and let these things play out. What you should be looking at is not just the prices, but what is the big money doing? And I've said this since I've created this channel. What is the big money doing? Watch the moves they're making. That tells a different story because they need to set their services up in order for it. Like I said, they're not doing this to operate at a loss or to make to lose money. They are here to make money and they're going to pump this and market it. And you just got to be patient, guys. It's very much like, if you're investing in the stock market, you buy at a low. The simple concept of buying low and selling high, right? Well, after the 2008 crash, let's say, if you had extra cash lying around and you bought up like Google, Amazon, Netflix, and so forth, Facebook, and I think CNBC did a video on this. Like if you held and look at what the prices are now, you would have made a lot of money. Now we know the market's crashing, but you guys understand the concept. Even going back earlier this year, if you sold, you made some really good money. Now, if you were impatient and you were like, oh man, it's not going up, then, you sold too early, you'd have lost a lot of money. And I've always stated, guys, if we weren't seeing news like this of these big players, actual companies, traditional companies getting involved, then I would say, yes, you have a legit argument to say, man, nobody's getting involved here. I don't think this is going anywhere. You would have a legit argument. But the fact that you have news like this from Wall Streeters and the big players and these big giant companies, guys, shows you what's to come, and we just got to be patient. So I hope you continue to hold strong into 2019. Have a balance as well. Don't look at prices every day. I used to do that back in the early days when I got into the market, and it was not good. It's not good. You need to go out and live your life. And sure, like I said, you watch the news, you see who's doing what and what's scheduled to launch, but don't be constantly like, oh, price. That'll drive you nuts. So be patient, have a perspective, have a balance as well, enjoy life, but keep up with the news here. This is why I try to share the facts here with you guys. And if you like this video, thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links in the description. Also, if you want to support the channel here, I created a Patreon group. You can support if you would like. No obligation. It's just there if you want a tip or whatever it is. This is the news, guys. I want to hear your thoughts and comments. Leave them below, and I will talk to you all later.